Hi everyone, my name is Mason. I am the owner of Sampleplex, and I'm going to be installing an Armorpoxy epoxy kit in the front room of my business. Let's check it out. So, let's talk about this floor, right? To be honest with you, these big holes are the worst of its condition. You can see I can kind of stick this stick in here and then pull it out and show you exactly how deep that hole is. There are a lot of holes like that all the way across this floor. It's very pitty. And that is the main reason that I really want to have this floor fixed, is just because it has holes all over it. After I grind this entire surface and everything, I'll have to come back, patch these holes, each one of them, throughout the entire floor. There's about 15 of them. And then I'll have to come back and caulk along the entire edge before it's actually ready to be epoxied in any way. Okay, so I just finished cleaning the floor, and before I mop it, I want to show you a couple of things that I discovered while I was cleaning it. So while I was cleaning it, the water actually filled all the holes and creases in the floor and just made it a lot easier to see. So here you can see the original reason why we're doing the floor is there are so many holes in it here. So there's actually a lot more than I thought now that it's filled with water. So I think I'm gonna need some self-leveler as well as some crack filler. You can see this giant hole is nice and exposed now. And the last thing is, there's a couple in each one of these corners, but this one's the worst. You can see this mark here. I didn't mop it so you guys could actually see what it looks like. It's hard to see with the camera, but these aren't broom strokes right here. These are actually grinder marks from the previous job or whatever was done here. So there's tons of little grinder marks and ridges all over this floor in the corners. I'm gonna have to give those a little bit of special attention when we do this floor. So I'm glad I discovered them now. And I'm gonna try not to make some of my own when I do the floor, but at least I'll be able to blame it on somebody else if I do, you know what I mean? So Monday, I'm going to pick up the grinder from XPS. They were nice enough to let me use it for this video and show me how to use it when I get there. So see you then. Hey everyone, I am at XPS Express in Garfield, here to pick up the grinder that they let us borrow for this floor. Hit them up for all your decorative concrete polishing needs inside the NJ Tri-State. Let's check it out. Look, they gave me free stuff. I'm so happy. Pow. Okay, so let's talk about the equipment that I picked up from XPS. This is the industrial vacuum. This is the grinder. Both of them run on 110 power, and this has 6 discs. So I made this little section here to test a couple of things. Number one, I need to use the grinder first, see how well it works, and determine my pace, how quickly I'm going to be running the floor back and forth and getting it done. Number two, I need to test how good I am with this grinder, right? So if you're a DIYer like myself, you may want to start in a place like this, where I put my desk, maybe where you put your toolbox in your garage, right? And I do it this way, so if I make a mistake right off the bat, it's not where I park my Suburban or something like that, where you're gonna see it every single time you pull the car out. You know what I mean? You'll know the mistake is there if you made one, but nobody will see it, so it doesn't matter as much, I should say. Only thing left for me to do now is get to work, so I'm gonna do that. stuff. I'm loving it. Can't get enough. All right, so it took me about 2.5 hours, but this floor is done. I'd say almost 3 hours, but this floor is done as far as I can tell. The only thing that's left to do is this like asteroid mark, I guess. It looks like it was hit by just a ton of something. And we have this hole to fill. We have this crack to do, which I took care of with my handheld grinder. This one too. Took care of it with my handheld grinder. You could see it was a little bit bigger than a playing card, so I gave it some attention. Other than that, I think that this grinder worked really well, especially for my skill level as well. I think that if I had something that was much beefier, I might have been a little bit more intimidated when I started this project, but because it is the size that it is, I felt pretty comfortable getting to it. So, let's get to the rest. This is the 1-to-1 mix Armorpoxy crack repair. Let's get it done. I'm gonna need a mixer. Be right back. I'll show it to you real quick. Nice and hard. Nice and hard. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go back with my sander. I got this little sander here and my vacuum to catch any of the dust that I make. And I'm gonna get rid of any of these lips that I have so they don't stick out when I do my flake layer. And any high spots that you might have where the resin was left behind by the scraper, where I didn't scrape it completely flat. This one's a little high. Got a big high spot right here, you can see. I'm gonna work that down a little bit. And then this asteroid field that I had right here, essentially I'm just gonna go over it with the sander to make it a little flat, but I definitely don't wanna bring it down anymore because I don't wanna accidentally expose those divots that I've worked so hard to fill and cover. So, let's get to it. Okay, I'm done sanding. It's time to vacuum up the mess I made, tape, and get ready for primer. Okay, I am very happy that the prep is finally over and I'm actually gonna start priming. I got the 1-to-1 mix Armorpoxy primer and I'm actually going to make a smaller kit first and then hit my perimeter everywhere that I taped and any of the spots that I won't be able to hit with the large roller. I wanna make a smaller kit first to give myself as much working time as possible, you know? So let's get to it. Okay, I'm done priming. Check it out. Wait for it to cure. Okay, my primer is done. I've retaped my edges and I'm ready to do the 100% epoxy solids base coat with the flake on top. I'm gonna mix this up and I'm gonna do it in 3 sections. One, the same as I did yesterday. I'm gonna mix up a small batch and I'm gonna hit the perimeter. And then I'm actually gonna mix up 2 medium-sized batches so I can split my room in half and have plenty of working time. Use the first batch on the one section and the second batch on the second section, right? One thing to mention before I get started is I'm actually in socks for the first part of this video because I don't want to, my shoes are very dirty and I don't want to be tracking dirt all over this, you know, wonderful primer that I just finished while I'm doing it. So after I finish my perimeter, I'm gonna put my spikes on, my shoes and spikes on, and go ahead and do those large sections with the base coat. Something else you're gonna notice is the spikes kind of look small on my feet. That's not because they're actually small, they're actually an extra large. I have a size 15 shoe. Do what you will with that information. Let's get started.
I definitely learned my lesson yesterday when I spoke before.
just saw the flake floor for the first time. I'm so happy. I still have to do the 2 top coats, but for right now, it looks great. Check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep all this excess up. I'm gonna save a little bit for some projects down the road, but for the most part, I gotta get to work. Okay, so I forgot to go over actually vacuuming and scraping. So you'll see that I used an actual hand scraper, which I don't suggest unless you're only doing, 190 square feet like I am, right? The other reason I did that is because you'll actually see that all my corridors are pretty narrow. It's like a giant U shape. So I was able to go around almost the entire thing with that U cutting shape that I was using, and then only leave the center for myself for one quick pass. Otherwise, if you have a square room that you're doing, just get an industrial scraper. It's so much easier, oh my goodness. When you're done with that, then you're gonna have to vacuum everything up. Make sure you get all those little particles or else they're gonna be left into your top coat. You're gonna know if you did it right if when you start using your top coat, none of those little flecks and flakes are stuck to your actual roller. If you didn't do a good job vacuuming, as soon as you go down with that roller, you're gonna see a bunch of garbage in your roller, and that's not good because that's gonna get caught in your top coat and not actually sealed into your base coat. So, it's a very important step. If you don't do it the right way, you'll know when you're done because when you step on it, you'll hear it crunch because those peaks of the actual flake haven't been shaved off the top. And you can hear that when you're done. So just as a frame of reference, I'm gonna put this on the ground and walk in front of the camera just to prove it's all said and done. I can't hear anything, so that's done. Let's get to the next step, which is the industrial grade top coat. It's put down at 200 square feet per gallon. I really like this top coat. It's really tough and industrial, so let's get to it. Okay, the floor is done. I'm so happy. When I first walked in and saw this floor, it was like, bam. Oh my gosh, it's so loud and distracting from how terrible the rest of the room is. So I'm truly am so happy with how this came out, right? I'll remind you that the only reason that we did this floor is because it really had a ton of damage in it. And when I look at the floor and physically run my hands over it, I cannot find the existing damage until here it is. That's the hole in the floor. I cannot find it unless I physically get on my hands and knees and go searching for it. And that's amazing. That's exactly why we did this floor. If you're wondering why I didn't do the transitions, it's because there are a couple of spots in the transitions that are beyond my repair, right? So if I couldn't do it, I didn't want to just cover it up and then assume that the product would fail down the line. I would rather skip it, do it the right way down the line, and then probably include it in the video when I do my walls. So let's talk about the actual installation of the product. So this took me 6 days, okay? Day 1, I cleaned. Day 2, I ground. Day 3, I primed. Day 4, medium duty coat and the flake. Last 2 days, top coat, okay? And if you're hearing 6 days, you're probably going, oh no, that is too much work. And it is a lot of work. But I only had to work on it about 2.5 hours every single day on average, which if you're a contractor is fantastic because that means you can get to multiple jobs in a day if they're close enough. And if you're a DIYer, that means that you can pretty much get this done at the end of the day if you're coming home from work or in the beginning of the day before you go to work. And it's only gonna take a week. So if you do your prep on the weekend, you can knock it out before Friday. I really like this product. I really liked the way it worked and went down and everything. I specifically liked the instructions the best. If I could give any recommendation in this video, it won't be to not tip out your pails or check with a mill gauge, which is what every other video recommends that you do. You should do those things. But my ultimate recommendation is to just read the directions cover to cover. It removes so much question in your work and gives you a lot more confidence in your workmanship if you're doing this for the first time in DIYing. Read the directions, please, cover to cover first, right? It'll just make the whole process so much easier. I made some samples, actually, of the product that we put down on the floor. This is the same material that we used on this floor, and this is the medium broadcast flake. So you can actually see what this looks like, as well as the full broadcast, which is the actual floor that we did. So if you watch this video from cover to cover, like the instructions, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much.